online? Am I audible? Please confirm it. Right. So let us move to the further discussion. I hope in the last session, I almost gave the description related to handling the exceptions, right? So let us look at that. Last class, what we discussed. So in this case of exceptions, observe it there. Handling the exceptions, syntax almost explained, and I gave some example also. And how many keywords are there? 5 keywords are there. What are the keywords names? Try, except, else, finally, rise. And the corresponding example syntax also you have seen, and the syntax related keywords also you have seen, and some example also explained. So some example also explained. So look at that. div2.py is a program which is written with syntaxes using exceptions we written in this case. Okay, so try, except here, else, and then finally block. And moreover, and it is a time to explain about one more discussion that is called what? Try, except. These blocks explanation I would like to give. Shall we start? Yeah, last time we already discussed the syntax in detail, and the syntax related words I am going to discuss. Okay, students. Now I'm going to write one more description I'm entering today, and I'm discussing 2 important things in today's class. One is the keywords explanation. One more I'm giving various forms of except blocks. Okay, so explanation, I'm giving explanation for the keywords of what are that? Exception handling. Exception handling. Okay, this is the one which I want to enter into today's class. So almost we have seen that practical point of it, the keywords. Now I'm going to talk about the keywords importance now. What is the first keyword, my dear students? Try. This is the one I want to explain. Right. Santosh, Satish, you are getting not audible. Re-login. So coming to the point of it, I'm talking about what? Try. So there I will speak about point by point. I will explain. Tell me, what do you know about try block? What do you understand about the try block? You tell me. There I can say it is the block. What are we writing inside the try block? We need to understand. It is the block in which we write what statements? Block of statements generating what? Generating what? Exceptions. Generating exceptions. So what are all the exceptions are generating? What are all the exceptions are generating as a part of my Python program? Such a type of statements will be written under where? Try block. So I can continue. In other words, what are all the statements? What are all the statements generates what? Exceptions. Such statements must be written within which block? Try block. And hence try block is called what? Exception monitoring block. Exception monitoring block. This is exception monitoring block. It is. Well, so it is the block in which we write block of statements generating exceptions. In other words, what are all the statements that generates exceptions? Such statements must be written within try block, and hence try block is called try is called, I will write down. Hence, try block is called what? Exception monitoring block. That is called point number 1. Okay, students. Second point I'm going to understand. Is this first point is clear, students? Online students, please confirm it once again. Is it clear for all of you? Quickly. Right. All of you. Now I'm going to move to the next point I'm going to enter. What is the next point? Observe it. What is happening in this? What is the execution behavior of try block I'm going to enter? So PVM enters into which block? Try block. If any exception occurs in try block, what is happening? Is it going out of the program or coming out of the try block? And executing appropriate except block. Zero error means zero error except block. Value error means value error except block. Okay, na? Now I'm going to say, students, now I'm going to say, when an exception occurs, when an exception occurs in which block? Try block. When an exception occurs in try block, then PVM comes out of, I'm saying that PVM comes out of which block? Try block, and executes, comes out of try block and executes appropriate which block? Except block, and generates which message? Generates which message, mom? User friendly error message. User friendly error messages, right? User friendly error messages. Very good. So user friendly error messages. That part is comes under what? Execution process it is called. It is comes under execution process. Execution behavior. Okay, well. Now see, students, what is the skeleton of writing this try block? Look at every try block immediately followed by what? Except block. See the indentation. See the indentation. I just see the indentation once. I rotate. Try block immediately followed by what? Except block. Try block immediately followed by except block. That means every try block must be immediately followed by except block. There is a syntactical part of writing. Okay, purpose I wrote it, execution part I wrote it, and in middle of it I cannot write like this, my dear students. Print of hello, I should not write like this. Print of hello, I should not write. That means I am unlinking the except block and try block. That is not recommended, I am saying, not possible. If at all you write it, you will get error. Okay, so we should not write it. If at all you write it, let us see, go to that. Our place of that, say this, go to the location of it, 9 a.m. and I say exceptions there you try to execute, my dear students, try to execute py and say this, and what is that program name? div2, I hope, div2.py. So I'm getting error, unexpected except. That means this line is giving a problem. So what is happening immediately? Every try block must be immediately followed by, yeah, that point you must remember, my dear students. Now I am writing here, every try block must be immediately followed by, immediately followed by what? Which block? Except block. Beautiful. That means other statements are not recommended. Okay. Dear students, one more point I would like to mention here, students. See, when an exception is occurring, try block, PVM comes out of try block and executes what? Appropriate except block and generates a user-friendly error message. Is okay, well. Will it go back to try block once again? No. Exception occurrence means it stops and comes out. That means I would like to mention that point, because sometimes people will get a doubt. Will it go back again, sir? No, because we are not using any looping there, right or not? I will write looping and I will show you how it goes. Okay. So after executing this point, I would like to mention, students, after executing appropriate appropriate, which block? Except block. After executing appropriate except block, PVM never goes to, PVM never goes to where? Try block, never goes to try block to execute rest of the statements. Rest of the statements in which block? Never goes to try block to execute the rest of the statements in which block? Try block. This is the most important, another point to be rememberable. So once an except block is there, it will move forward only. It will not go back to the rest of the statements to execute. Yes. Next, I am going to write one more point. Every try block immediately followed by what? Yes. So go back to this point. I'm going to give you the clarity on this area. Coming to this area, now I'm going to enter into this place. Here I'm going to write it. Zero division error, value error, something like this. So try block, it is going to give you some sort of this, and going to this place, zero division error written here. So every try block immediately followed by which block? Except block. And moreover, students, you see, can I write only try block? No, definitely I need to write what? Except block I need to write. I have to write immediately what? Except block I need to write. Every try block must be immediately followed by except block I said. But how many except blocks I am writing? 2, 3, 4, n number of except blocks. But how many minimum I have to write? That is an important. Okay, right. So I'm going to write it. Every try block must contain at least one except block. Must contain at least one except block. Every try block must contain at least one except block. Every try block must contain at least one except block. And is it only one except block, or recommended to write multiple except blocks? Multiple except blocks, because multiple user-friendly error messages I want to generate. So every try block must contain at least one except block, and recommended to write what blocks? Multiple except blocks. Recommended to write multiple except blocks. Recommended to write multiple except blocks. Every try block must contain at least one except block, and recommended to write multiple except blocks for generating what? Multiple user-friendly error messages. Multiple user-friendly error messages. User-friendly error messages. Multiple user-friendly error messages. Every try block must contain at least one except block, and recommended to write multiple except blocks for generating which messages? User-friendly error messages. Well, next, after that, these are the points to be rememberable about what? Try block. In further, of course, I am writing in try block. I can write another try block also. I can write it. Inside the try block, I can write another try block also. We can write. Try in a try is possible. That is, the nested try blocks also can be possible, which I am going to explain in the class. So one try block can contain another try block. One loop can contain another loop. Nested loops we explain. Like that, one try block can contain another try block also. Possibility is there. That point I will write in the further. These are the main points about which block? Try block. So is my points are clear? So multiple except blocks. Ajay Kumar. Yes. So here, this is points of which block? Try block. Is these points are clear? All of you? If anybody asks you about the try block, you must explain this type of 5 points. Now next I am going for which block? Second one I am going for which block? Except block. Except block I am going to say. Except block I am going to say. Right. Coming to this except block. Now, in this except block, what we are going to say? What we are going to say except block? We are going to talk about what is the purpose of it. See, first point is what, ma? Purpose already I said. Except block also we need to write it. What is the, what should I write there? This is the block. This is the block. This is the block. Come on fast. Which contains, in which I will write it. This is the block in which we write multiple. In this is the block in which we write block of statements. We write block of statements. Block of statements. This is the block in which we write block of statements, and provides what for we are writing block of statements? For generating which messages? User friendly error messages. User friendly error messages. User friendly error messages. So I'm going to give you the clarity on this area. I'm going to give you the clarity on this area. Now I'm going to say something like this. This is the block in which we write block of statements for generating user friendly error messages. Error messages. In other words, I'm going to say, in other words, except block, what except block will do? Except block suppresses means what? Suppresses means it degrades, it downs the which messages? Technical error messages, and generates what? And generates which messages? User friendly error messages. User friendly error messages. And hence except block is called what? Is called what? Exception processing block. Exception processing block. Nice. So this is the block in which we write a block of statements for generating user-friendly error messages. In other words, except block suppresses technical error messages and generates user-friendly error messages, and hence except block is called a exception processing block. Exception processing block. Good. Next, handling the exception. I would like to write one note. To handle the exception, how many blocks are minimum? Try and except blocks are compulsory. So I will write one small note here. What is the note? Handling exception is equal to, what should I write? Try block plus which block? Except block. Try block plus what? Except block. Handling exception is equal to try block plus except block. We wrote it there, right? Good. Next term, I'm going to say try block plus except block. Handling the exception is equal to try block plus except block. I can write it. Fine. Now I'm going to move to the further. Here I'm going to say further discussion. I'm going to say what are we doing in except block? How many except blocks we are writing? What is an execution process? When the except block is executing, except block will execute when there is an exception occurs in where? When there is an exception occurs in try block, then only which block will execute? Right. Now I am writing here. Except block will execute. Except block will execute when an exception occurs in which block? Try block. When an exception occurs in try block. Except block will execute when an exception occurs in, yes. what happens in this case when the exception occurs in try block? Appropriate user-friendly message will come by executing except block. Here also, except block will execute when exception occurs in right. Next, if we write multiple except blocks, is all the except blocks are executing? Suppose I wrote 2 except blocks in my program. Is all of them are executing? No. How many are executing? At any point of time, only one except block will execute, even though we write multiple except blocks, right? So I'm writing, even we write multiple except blocks, even we write multiple except blocks, PVM will execute, how many except blocks? PVM will execute only one except block. Only one except block depends on type of exception occurs. Depends on type of except block. Depends on type of exception occurs in which block? Try block. Depends on except try block. Depends on type of exception occurs in try block. Fine. Depends on type of exception occurs in try block. Now, this is called one small sort of thing. Except block will execute when an exception occurs in try block. Right? Next, I'm going to say, even we write multiple except blocks, PV will execute only one except block. Depends on type of exception occurs in try block. Right. Next, I'm going to say further discussion. In the except block, what messages we are giving? User-friendly error message. That's right. And where are we writing? What is the placement of writing except block? You observe it. The placement of writing except block is after a try block. Before which block? If at all I write else block, I have to write else block after except block, or except block has to be written before which block? Else block. Except block will be written before what? Else block. After what? That is the placement of writing except block. So I'm writing except block must be written. Except block must be written after. Except block must be written after try block, and late and before else block. In the bracket, if we write which block? Else block. If we write which block? Else block. Except block must be written. Except block must be written after try block and before else block. If we write else block, are you able to understand? Fine. So except block must be written after try block and before else block. If we write else block, these are the points of which block? Else block. Except block. Sorry. Understand? So before that, points of what? Try block. Next is called points of except block. And very shortly, after finishing my discussion, I will explain what are the varieties of ways of writing except blocks. I'm going to show you various forms of except blocks. Still the discussion will be continued as a separate topic. Here I will write. After a few minutes, I will come to this. So what is that thing? Various forms of what? Except blocks. Various forms of except blocks. Fine. Coming to this point of it, here I'm going to write it. Coming to this point, here I'm going to explain various things. So coming to the point of it, now I'm going to write it. So coming to the point back, except block, first point is written, second point is written, next this is the information. So next I'm going to take up like this. What is the next point? I'm going to say this note point is written. Now I'm going to give you the further clarity. Now let us move to the further discussion here. Except block. Next I will go for which block now? Third one is called else block. Else block I will take it. Else block. Let us start with the else block here. Else block here. Right. What are we writing in this else block? Result generated block, that is. Result generated block. And dear students, is the else block, students who are in the online, is the except block is clear, students? Is the except block is clear, students? All of you please confirm it quickly. So in every, at the end of the part of it, we need to go for it. Very good, ma. Right, done. Good. So let us move to the further called else block. So in else block, see the syntax once. See the syntax once here. You see else block. Always we are writing the result part of it. See the syntax also. Else block. We write the block of statements recommended to generate results. Recommended to generate results. Coming to the point of it. Now I'm going to say else block. I'm going to write it. Now I'm going to give you the clarity on this area. Now this is the block. This is the block. I'm saying in which we write block of statements generates what? Results. Generates block of statements recommended to generate. I will write recommended. This is a recommendation. Recommended to generate. Which one? Results. Recommended to generate the results of the program. Well, so when this is coming, when the results are coming like this, now I'm going to give the clarity. When this block is coming for generating the results, definitely this will execute when there is no exception. Definitely this is result is coming means there is no exception. So else block will execute when there is no exception in which block? Try block. So tell me, else block will execute when there is no exception. When there is no exception occurs in which block? When there is no exception in which block? Try block. Else block will execute when there is no exception occurs in try block. Understand? Right. Next, else block is executing when there is no exception occurs in this place. And what is the part of writing? Is it mandatory to write or optional to write? Optional to write. I may write it, I may not write it. But some of the programmers will write a definitely else block to generate only results part. Suppose if I don't write, where should I write results are? I will write the results inside of which one itself? Try block itself. That's what I am writing. Writing else block is optional. Writing else block is optional. Else block is optional. Writing else block is optional. Are you understanding? Right. Next, writing else block is optional. Right. Now, what is the placement of writing else block? After try or after except? After except and before finally. That is an order. That is an order of writing. So, else block must be written. Come on. After which block? Except block and before. After except block and before which block? Finally block. Before finally block. In the bracket, if we write. So else block must be written after except block and before which block? Finally block. Else block must be written after except block and before which block? finally block. Done. Next, these are the points to be remembered about which block? Else block. Now next I am going for last part is what? Finally block. I will go for it. So students in the online, is it clear for you? Finally block, I am going to write it. What is this finally block is? I am going to give the clarity on this area. Come on, quick. So is this clear about else block? Very good. So let us move to the finally block. There also 4 points will be there. There also 4 points will be there. Now I am going to give the clarity on this area. There also I am going to give the clarity on this area. Right. So coming to that, I'm going to enter into the finally block here. Finally block here. What is that finally block? I'm just going to give the description. See, I'm going to say, see ma, Pranav, Rise I will explain ma, why you are worrying about the unexpected things. I will explain na, I will explain. Rise is a keyword, it is there in my class like anything. Whatever I am explaining, first you think about it. Other unexplained things you don't worry, I will explain. After explaining 4 things, can't I explain 5th one? Will I leave and will I run away? Not like that na, Pranav. So take care by yourself, take care and concentrate what I am explaining. That's it. It's good for you. So coming to the point of it, finally block. So in the finally block, what do you know about it? First I will write purpose. Wait for some time. I will go for this will execute compulsorily. So finally block will execute. Finally block will execute compulsorily. Finally block will execute compulsorily. In the bracket, if we write, next is called what now? Finally block will execute compulsorily. In the bracket, if we write. Next, writing finally block is optional or mandatory? Writing finally block is optional. I may write it, I may not write it. I may write it, I may not write it. That is done. So, sir, when to write this finally block? When I don't write finally block, that I am giving the clarity. And what is the placement of writing finally block? Finally block must be written after which block? Else block. If else block present. If else block is not present, after except block it will become. Understand? Right. So coming to that, now I am explaining the purpose. Why finally block is required. Very carefully try to understand. I'll go for some small paint. Now I'm trying to give some explanation here. What is this explanation? Just try to watch it. I'm going to write it. First line, second line, third line, like that, fourth line, and next fifth line. Like this, I'm just going on writing. I'm just going on writing. Right. Going on writing. 99 lines, just 100 lines. Right. Here, I'm writing 100 lines of code. What is happening in 100 lines of code? First line number 1, I am opening some resources will be coming in Python programming. Like files, you take it. Files contains what? Some data. Files contain some data. Now, that files, when it contains some data, I need to read the data, so that I must open the file in read mode or not. So to write the data or to read the data, I must open the file. So open the file. Right? Whenever I open, why file is nothing but what? It is a repository where we can store some data. From that file, if I want to read the data, I must open the file. Or I can store the data in some other place also. Which place I can store the data? Even database also we can store. Okay, na? I'm going to tell you. After these exceptions are over, I will enter into files. Next topic is files only after exceptions are over. Next, after files are over, I will go to database. So to read the data from the file, I must open the file. That is called getting the resource. Resource is nothing but a place where our data is stored. where our data stored, right? Next, opening the file, getting the database connection. Now I'm getting database connection, DB connection, DB connection, DB connection, right? DB connection. Open the file or getting the DB connection. So when I get the database connection, it is simply nothing but, if you understand me, we are obtaining resources. We are obtaining what? Resources. Obtaining resources. Resources are nothing but what? Files and databases. Clearly try to understand. This file may be there, may not be there. Some sort of exception may be coming. So I will write definitely what block? Try block. Carefully listen, students, all of you. Definitely I will write what block here? Except block. Some sort of exception I will write it. Some sort of exception. Another sort of exception again. Another sort of exception I will write it. Another sort of exception. Next, another sort of exception. Another sort of exception. Next, like that I am writing. Finally block I want to write it. Finally block I want to write it. This is else block is also there. Else block is also there. Else block is also there. Right. And finally block also written. Careful. Try to understand. So in line number 1, what is written? Opening file, database connection is getting. Definitely when the database connection is there, line number 1 to 100, everything is written in which block? Try block. Once you open the file and getting the database connection, when the work is over, last part I must close my file or not? Close my file. So close the file or what? Release the DB connection. Release the DB connection. Release the DB connection. Right? Release the DB connection. Close the file or release the DB connection. Close the file or release the DB connection. Where I am getting the resources? 1. Where I am releasing the resources? 100. So close the file or release the DB connection. Number 1, I am opening the file. Number 100, I am closing the file or release the DB connection. Understand? Right. Now, so, sir, after opening the file, if I don't close the file, what will happen? When you open the file, you did some operation. When your program is deactivated, there is a chance that other program may be doing some type of wrong operations on the file. That is what is called some inconsistency of the files will be taking place. That will take place lot of times in our server level programming. So once your file is opened, it is recommended for you to close such type of files. Once my database connection is active, if you don't close the database connection, there is a chance of getting the inconsistency in the database state. So once if I open, it is recommended for you to close your resource also. In a simple word, once you enter into the home for taking something, when you are coming out, you need to close your doors of your home or not. So that is nothing but a recommendation for you. So where I obtained the resources? In try block only. Where I am closing my resources? Inside the try block only. For example, if such things are happening like this, in the place like this, I am writing some C is equal to, or some A is equal to, some 100 by 0 is taking place. This is a statement is coming. What is occurring here? Exception is occurring. What is occurring? Exception is occurring. When an exception is occurring, what is happening? When an 100 by 0 exception is occurring, exception occurs. Exception occurs. Exception occurs. Exception occurs. Coming to the point of it, exception occurs. So when an exception occurs, what will happen? It comes out of where? Try block. Execute the appropriate except block and going to where? Finally block. Except block will execute and going to where? Finally block. After finally block, is it coming to line number 100 once again? That means when line number 5 exception is occurring, just comes out and executing except block and finally block, there is no way of closing my resources. Am I correct? So that's why, what is the meaning of not closing the resources? Since I wrote this 100 line inside of try block, I wrote that statements inside of try block. I wrote that statement inside of try block. I'm getting the problem like that. I'm getting the problem like this. So I'm getting the scenario like this. Close the file or release the database connection. Such a statement I will not write in where? I will not write in where? Right, where I will write from now onwards. Such a type of statement, that 100 line, I never write in this place. I never write in this place. I will write always inside of each block. Always I will write inside of each block. Right, finally block. Always write inside of try finally block. So here I am going to say close the connection. Close the connection. I'm going to release my. I don't write this 100 line inside of each block. 100 line I never write inside of. Where I am writing that? Finally block. Now start the flow. Start the flow. Line number 1 I obtained my resource. Line number 5 exception coming. Line number 5 exception is coming. What will happen when line number 5 exception is occurring? It goes to the appropriate except block. It goes to the finally block and close my resources or not. Suppose no exception is occurring. Completely this is executing. It goes to which block? Else block. It goes to which block? Else block. And go to which block? So what is the best place of closing my resources? Finally block. I hope you understand what is the finally block. Did you understand the importance of finally block? So from now onwards, you tell me where you will write the, why do you write the finally block and what is its importance? I hope you understand. When I have resources in my program, such a resources relinquishing. Relinquish means releasing, closing, cleaning up the resources to be done in where? Finally block. Come on. It is the block. It is the block. I'm writing here. It is the block. It is the block in which we write, what? In which we write block of statements, It is the block in which we write block of statements. What for? And they are relinquish the resources. Relinquish the resources. Relinquish means what? Close or what? Release, nothing but what? Give up. That is nothing but what? Clean up the resources. Clean up the resources. Resources are nothing but what? Files comma what? Database. Files comma database. So we write the block of statements and they are relinquishing the resources. Relinquishing English meaning also I wrote. Relinquishing the resources which are obtained in where? Obtained in which block? Try block. Where are we obtaining them? Try block. Where are you releasing them? Finally block. Are you understanding this? This is everybody will ask in interview point of view. Explain about finally block importance. Why should I write finally block? I hope you are understanding today. And writing finally block is optional or mandatory? Optional. I may write it. I may not write it. I may write it. I may not write it. When I will write? When I have the resources, I will write it. When I don't have the resources, is it necessary to write? Not necessary. I hope you are following. This is about which block? Which block? Finally block. This is the complete syntax explanation of what? Finally block. So how many keywords are there? Totally 5 are there. 4 I explained very perfectly. Try block, except block, else block, finally block. Will you remember all the points? So 5 points for first one, rest of them 4 points. I said almost 17 points. So how you remember that points, I don't know. When somebody ask about these points, if you say as it is, you'll be getting very good impression about it. What we observed, we just wrote it. And finally block, we are going to use very regularly from now onwards. Every day I will use this try, except finally, and then else blocks we will use. Shall I go to various forms of except blocks? Right. Students, Who are, yes, ma, Malesh, very good. Did the students who are in the online, is it understandable, students? Is it understandable, these keywords up to so far? Right. Very good. Good. Now I'm going to enter into further discussion. Now I'm going to enter into further discussion. That is various forms of which blocks? Except blocks. Various forms of which blocks? Except blocks. Right. Coming to the point of it, various blocks of except blocks. Coming to the point of it, in which case we used so far? We used a standard syntax. This is called what? Standard syntax. I used it. Standard. This is what we follow in the industry level. And I want to give more discussion on the various forms of except blocks in the class. Shall we start? Yes. Now I'm going to discuss about what are the various forms of except blocks. Now I'm going to discuss this entire information now. Here, the except block can be used in various forms. I'm going to explain that in various forms. They are, first form I am going to explain. I am going to use in my further discussions also. So priority wise I will write it. Most important like that I will write it. Okay. Form number one. Now I am going to give form number one. So here I am going to give you the clarity on what is this form number one. This form handles one exception at a time. This form handles one exception at a time. What is the syntax? Now I am going for syntax. The same syntax what I explained already. Try and say what, students? Multiple statements I am writing. Right. Come on to the point of it. Except what should I write, ma? Exception class name, right or not? Exception class name 1, right? Exception class name 1. I will write like this. Another type of exception class name 1. So coming to the point back, exception class name 2. This is one exception at a time we will write it. So coming to the point of it, one exception at a time we will write it. This is a syntax already completed or not? This is called one syntax, highly preferable one. This is already done. How many exceptions we can handle at a time? Only one. Right. This is already seen. Second one we are going to write it. Let us see, students, how simple it is. Second one you see. Form 2. This form handles multiple exceptions. Multiple specific exceptions. The two specific exceptions, because this is a very important. Specific exceptions at a time. Multiple specific exceptions at a time. So I'm going to write it. What are the multiple specific exceptions at a time? I'm going to write it. Syntax, I'm going to write it. See, my dear students, syntax, I'm going to write it. How beautiful syntax it is, right? Syntax. Try. I'm writing. Except. I'm writing. Exception class name. One single except block handles multiple specific exceptions. That is called multiple exceptions handled by the single except block. That is called a multi-catch exception handling block we can call. Multi-exception handling block we can call. What is that? Multi-exception handling block. What I will write it there? Exception class name exception class name 1, comma, exception class name 2, exception class name 2. So on, I will write what? Exception class name n, exception class name n, right? Exception class name n, exception class name n, right? Done. Here I will write what, students? Multiple user friendly error messages. I will write it. When I am handling multiple exceptions in the single exception block, I will handle multiple user friendly messages or not? Let me show you this example. First time you are seeing. This form handles multiple specific exceptions at a time, and this feature is called multi exception handling block. What is that? Multi exception handling block. We can call it as multi exception handling block. So one except block handling multiple exceptions, we call it as what? Multi exception handling block. Are you following me? Let's start with this. Let us start the example. Go to this place. Here, same code I will take it. Look at that. I am saying that. Watch this. I say div3.py. Here, how many exceptions I wrote? Separate exception I wrote it. Here I will do what? I don't write multiple except blocks separately. I don't want write. Some people will like it. All the error messages want to get it at the same time. Some people likes this format. Some people will expect what? When I do one mistake, I want to know what are the other mistakes in advance. I want to know. Am I correct? When I get one problem, I should know what are the further problems I am getting in advance. I should notice. That is nothing but try to write all of them in a single except block. Zero division error. Understand? This also I will write it in where? Comma. What is that? Value error. Coming to this point, here I'll say don't enter STRs, symbols, alphanumeric STRs. I say here, don't enter 0 for denominator. Don't enter STRs, symbols, and alphanumeric STR. And here, this I will remove. Come on quickly. I am writing the user-friendly message for 0 division error. I am writing the user-friendly error message for value error. Right or not? So, else block I am writing. How many except blocks I wrote here? One except block for one of the specific exception called 0 division error. One more specific exception is called a value error. I am handling both of them, and the corresponding messages I am writing at a time. Please execute this now. Go to this place. div3.py. Go to this place and see that py div3.py. div3.py. I am in try block. Entered into try block. Enter the first value 10 and then 2. No more except block will come. Else block will come, and then finally block will come. Result is smooth. Now you start. Enter the first value 10. Enter the second value called what? 0. What is happening? When the exception is occurring in this line of 9, it will come out of that. PVM will come to this except block. It is having two things are there. One is 0 division error. One more is what? So it is matching with whom? Yes, it never bother about the second one. It is going to be matching. It is going to print these two messages at a time. Are you understanding this? Right. So coming to the point of it, yes, ma. Sheikh, who is this? One student. Sheikh Mutahar. You wait, ma. I will take your doubt. Let me complete this. I will take your doubt. Right, student? Mutahar, please wait. I will take your doubt. Okay, wait for few minutes. So 0 division error is matching, and I will get this. Two messages are printed. Okay, let me execute and then show. So let me execute and then show. I'm getting what? Two messages at a time. I got it. That means what message I committed, and I'm getting the further advanced message also giving, so that the user may not commit that mistake again. First one is what some people says, whenever I do mistake, you tell that mistake me only one at a time you tell me. Some people like it. Some people like what? Present mistake plus advanced mistakes also tell me, so that I will be careful. This is called what? Multi-catch exception handling block purpose. If you like first one, you follow first one. If you like second one, you follow second one. You follow the industry principle, your company policy, whatever the exception you want to handle. But you must know all of them now. I will run once again here. Run once again. I say here, enter the value called 100. Enter the value called Python. I'm going to get the same message once again. Same message once again. I will enter the value called what? You know, dollar you enter. I will enter the value called hash you enter. I'm getting the same message. Are you getting? This is called which facility? Multi-catch exception handling block. So multi-exception handling block. Multi-exception handling block. Multi-exception handling block. Now, coming to the point of it, this is one thing. Go back to this place and then check it out here. This is multi-handling except block. So if you like it, you can move forward. If you like the first form, you can move forward. Yes. Now I will see. So Mudhar is asking this doubt. So the doubt I will copy and I will show to everybody what the doubt is. Let us observe it. I will take the doubt window. Here I am just pasting. Sir, I have a doubt. This is a string block error, but not a zero division error. Will the accept string block error should print first, or is I am thinking correct? Say, is it string block is there? Is it string block is there? No. First of all, there is no string block. There is a try block, there is a except block, there is a else block. String block is nowhere else, Mudhar. String block is nowhere else, Mudhar. Huh? No, you understand his doubt. Your doubt I will take care again. So his doubt is string block is there or not there. Right? Venkatesh, Soundarya Venkateshan. I shown you already, ma. I shown you already this. Already I shown you this block. Soundarya Venkateshan. You see, I said already this one. This is the one. I entered the strings I shown you. I enter the zero division error also I shown. I enter the string also. I enter the special symbol also. Multiple examples are coming. Right. So Mudhar, will you think about it again, ma? Will you say your doubt is you are thinking wrong? You are asking me, is I am thinking correct? You are thinking. So it is not a string block. It is called what? Try block. Moreover, irrespective of any mistake is coming, a single except block is coming. It is handling zero division error as well as what? Non-strings, comma, STRs, special symbols, everything is handling. Now your doubt, please. No, his doubt is cleared. What is your doubt about his doubt? You tell me. Yeah. Value of error is first, that only. Okay. How it is coming zero division error when it comes, when the exception comes? Zero division error will come when exception is zero, denominator is zero. Here what is coming? What is the concept says? What is the meaning of it? Whatever the messages you have written, in the same order that will come. When value error is coming, value error first, zero denominator later, that will not come. Because we have written the code in such a way that both of them, whatever the way you have written, in the same order they will come. That's it. You will get, this is the message, whatever you have written, that will come like that. Right. So if you want the different way of what the message you have done, you go for the first syntax. That is what I am saying. That is what I am saying. Try to understand most clearly. I think Muthar is clear. I think so. Right. Fine. Yes. So for two exceptions, I am giving two messages at a time. So when first exception, first message, second exception, that will not come like that. We are writing both the exception messages in one place. So because of that message first, because of that message later, there is no use. All problems I am showing to you. First problem, second, there is no such priority. All problems are problems only. High priority problem, low priority problem, medium priority problems are not there like that. Understand? Right. So I am going to enter into further. Muthar, I think your doubt is not string block, ma. You try to understand like this. I hope you are understood. I think so. Shall I move forward? Muthar, come on to the respond, ma. Right. Come on to the Muthar. That you put your doubt. Your doubt is different. You are saying. So what is your doubt? You put me clearly then. According to your doubt. You send in detail. Again, I will take your doubt in this window once again. Send in detail. No problem. You are most welcome. Okay. Shall I continue the next part? Form 2. Now I am going to where? Form 3. Form 3 I am going. Form 3. Yeah. Form 3 I am going for. What is this form 3 says? This form displays, this form displays technical error message generated due to exception occurrence. See that exception occurrence generated due to exception occurrence. Sir, what is that message? Can you elaborate? Yes, I am going to show. My dear students, please look at that. Go to your Python environment, command prompt environment. Please go observe it. Look at. I am going to say A is equal to 10, B is equal to 0, C is equal to what? A by B. Now I got which exception? This entire thing is called what? Yeah. Now what is an exception name? What is the message I got it? I want to take the problem name. That problem name I want to take it because that is most important for me in further sessions. Once again, A is equal to double quotes 10 ABC. X is equal to int of A. What is the error, ma? And what is this now? Invalid literal for int of. This is called which message? Problem name. That is problem name. This is a problem name, problem message. This is called exception occurrence. I want to print this problem message. It is also called as a technical message. I want to take only this message. I want. How to print it? That is the next variety of except block. This form displays technical error message. In the bracket, I will write problem name because in the database level, this is a very important for me. Problem name I want. What is the problem name I want? What is the problem name I want? To go to this place. Now I am going to give you the clarity. What is the clarity? Look at. I am going to give something like this. Say that others go to this place. Okay, first one only I will take it. This cancel it. This you take it. This program you take it. Here you are writing. Say others Python. I am taking and paste this. div2 div3.py okay 4.py. Now say 0 division error as k. Some alias name I am giving. Already you know alias name. This k is an object of 0 division error which is holding the technical error message of which one? 0 division error technical error message came. What is the technical error message? That message is holding in where, recorded in where, K. Value error as what, V. You take your own variable names. I take my KVR, like that I can take. You say here, I say, I'm saying that K you print, K. You print next what? You know, you print what? V. You print K, you print V. Print K and then print V. Yes. So coming to the point of it, div4.py, div4.py. Coming to this point, execute this code. py div4.py, div4.py. Enter first value 10. Enter second value 2. No problem. Next, execute. See that 10 and what? 0. When I say 10 and 0, it is coming out of this place and then 0 division error. And that error message is printed, recorded in where? Okay, I'm capturing from that and I will print what is coming. Answer is coming what? This message will come. What the message is coming here? It is going to print this message. That message will print. Okay, let us see answer now. Answer you see. The answer is what? Division by 0. I require this capturing of that message. Once again you enter the value 10, enter ABC. I'm getting what? Capture the message. Invalid literal for int with base 10. Where I got that message? Same thing I got it or not? Such a message you want to capture it. I need that. I need that point. 0 division error I got it. And this type of error also I got it. This type of error also I will get it. So here I am going to say this type of messages. Did you understand this? This is called third form. First form is handling single except block. Next one is handling multi-exception handling block. Next is what? Alias name for getting the problem name of exception occurrence. Well, let us move to the further discussion. Dear students, did you understand this message? Did you understand this message? Did you understand this is another format of except block? Quickly. Right. Muthar, please send your doubt, ma. Please send your doubt. Right. So Muthar, please send your doubt. Now I'm going to say what? This is called go to this place, go to this place. I'm going to this place. Here I'm going to wait. So coming to this point, here I'm going to say this point, I'm going to take the syntax name. I say here, I'll write it. What is it? As what? As what? Alias name. Alias name. Next I'm writing what? As alias name. As alias name. Next is called what? As alias name. Right? Done. As alias name, which will print what? Due to exception occurrence, some problem name will come, some technical error message will come, that will be done. This form of display, line number 31 you see in the description, this form of display, this form displays technical error message, there is a problem name generated due to exception occurrence. Understand? Very good. Now I'm going to say, yes, Ajay Kumar, print alias name. That is normal. With alias name, what you want to do, you can take care. I can do with alias name, not only printing, I do different operation. If you want to display, you display. If you want to display something, you can do it. Not only print alias name. Okay. So I'm writing, this is called a one format. One format. Next, I'm going for form number 4. Form number 4 or 5? Form number 2 is over. Form number 2, 3 over. Next is called what? Form number 4. See, my dear students, form number 4 I'm going. Final form I'm going to take. Form number 4. What is the form number 4? It is default except block. What is the name? Yeah. What is meant by default except block? What is meant by default except? Default except block will matches for all the exceptions. Default except block will matches for all the exceptions. Understand? Shall I show you that? Before writing this form deals with, this form deals with deals with what? Which message? Which one? Default except block. Default except block. This form deals with default except block. Okay, what is the syntax, sir? I will tell you. Still, I will describe something. I will express my still continuation. Go to the program, my dear students. Go to this place. I will take this code as it is. I'll take this code as it is. I will say others. Kanchi, Suryan. Okay, ma. Suryan, wait, ma. Just for a minute, you wait. I will see. Let me complete this. I will see your things. Okay. 1 minute, you wait. Display what? 4 or 5? 4 or 5? 5. Now you see students. I'm not writing zero division error. I'm not writing this one. I'm not writing this one. I'm writing except colon. I'm writing except colon. Not writing any exception class name. I'm just writing what? Except colon. Like match case underscore. What is the case underscore? Default case block. This is called what? Default except block. What is the specialty of default except block? It matches with all exceptions. It matches with come on, I'm writing. This is what people tells in exceptions. What you will get it? Sometimes in your internet, something you do wrong, you will get oops, something went wrong. Oops, something went wrong. Oops means not object-oriented programming. Not object-oriented programming. Oops means English. Oops, something went wrong. Something went wrong. Who is that? Saundari, not that only I am saying. 404 error. Ajay Kumar, correct. 404 error. Oops means not that oops. My dear student, you are very dangerous students. Oops, something went wrong. In Google Pay, you on and you 5 minutes you did not touch anything. After the timeout, you are doing something. Oops, something went wrong. Some symbol is coming and doing something, dancing in front of it. Again, Ankit, you are coming. Whenever fun is coming, Ankit will come. When some fun is taking place, Ankit will come into picture. I thought Ankit is absent today. Puja. when we think, shut. Okay. So don't think like that. Ankit, don't cry, ma. I'm there, na? Right. So let us start with. Save this code and enjoy this subject. Fine. So let us see div. Fine. Mama? Yeah. I'll go for closing bracket. Yes, sir. Closing bracket. Something went wrong. Some exclamation. Okay. Go there. See students. You say out div5.py. Enter the value 10 and 2. No problem. Okay, student. So enter 100 and 0. Oops, something went wrong. What is that oops? We don't understand. End user don't know. Oops, something went wrong. Tell him that what is went wrong. Tell him his mistakes. That's why this is not recommended. When it is recommended, I will tell you. When it is recommended, I will tell you. You say something. So KVR and then Python I entered. Oops, something went wrong. For everything, oops went something wrong. What is that something wrong? Tell them. That's why industry says that don't write default except block. Don't write what? Default except block. What you will write first? Specific except blocks you write. At the end, if you don't know exception, you write this default except block. For what? When you develop the code in today, after 1 year you will release your project. So it comes for maintenance. The maintenance engineer may not be able to deal the exception. When he run the code, definitely will get oops, something went wrong. I don't know whether you're getting this forecasting idea. You're doing something more today. You handled your exceptions. Last, what are you writing? Some unknown exception, except block you are writing. For what purpose you are writing this? In the future, some code is coming for enhancement. Because of that code, some unknown exception is occurring. That unknown exception matches with what? Default except block. So the maintenance engineer will understand that he has to handle the exception. For that purpose, I will write in industry. But only like writing like this is absolutely wrong, not correct. So what I will do? See, my dear students, I will get it. This type of things. What I am writing? Either you write a multi-catch exception block, or you write a separate exception block. No problem. See what is an order? First I wrote what? Zero division. Next I wrote what? And here I wrote it. Here I wrote it. Right. Coming to the point back. Execute now. Execute now. See this. Now div 5. Say 10 and 2. No problem. Now you see. 10 and then what? 0. Now I am getting message. Because I wrote value 0 division error or not. Now you write once again 10. Once again 10. Now you are writing Python. Again I am getting proper message. When that except block will execute? When some unknown message is coming, that time it will come. See. When I will write it. Here I am writing S is equal to what? Some code I am adding. When it comes to maintenance, I am adding some new code. Print. Come on, ma. Print of what? S of 0. It will print what value? P. See. P. 10 and then what? 0. It is printing what? It is printing. Exception is coming. Why exception is coming? Why exception is coming? Here only exception is coming now. It is not coming here. Execute again. Execute again. 10 and 2. Corrective enter. P printed or not? This is a P printed or not? Okay. Now you say. Okay. 100 you say. Say some Python. Now it is P is not coming because exception is occurring before that only. Now go back. Go back. Here I am writing 10. What is occurring here? Exception. I enter correct data only. I wrote my code correctly. In the maintenance engineer added some new code. When he added some new code, definitely exception is occurring. When this is occurring, it will come to this except block. Is it matching? Come on. Is it matching? No. Is it matching? Yes. Last one. It is matching. See, beautiful code this is. Execute. Enter this, run this program. 100 and what? 20. Oops, something went wrong. That time it is so useful to the maintenance engineer. This is the way you can make your program to be so strong. Only default block? No. Are you getting? No. Sir, how to write it this? How? Listen, ma, listen. I will see your doubt. In this case, if at all you are interested, which error I can write it? Index error. Index error. See, my dear student, index error. So please check your index. Please check your index. I say, please check your index. Next I will write what? Obviously. Come on, ma. Except it is my just practicing. It is my ISO standard for coding standards. I say what? Print. Oops. Something went wrong. Something went wrong. I say something went wrong. Where I am writing that? Last I am writing. Now execute, my dear students. Execute. Say 10 and 2. Please check your index. Understand, my dear students? Go. Now where I am writing that? In the last moment I am writing. Please look at that. Take this one and try to write in the beginning once. Try to write in the beginning. What happens? Can anybody can say? What I am writing? You are keeping this fellow here and other people are ready to handle the specific exception. And he is the fellow handling everything beginning only. And see this now. Come on. Answer this. Wait ma. All of you please wait 1 minute because I am getting explanation here. During my explanation, if you type, I am not going to see. Wait once. Now see. Execute. What is that? Error is coming or not? Default except block must be last. You should not write where. Why? When you write first, everybody is waiting there to handle specific. That's why if at all default block you write in where? To handle unknown exceptions. Yes or no? Yeah, that is the subject. That's why you should write it in the last part. This is a beautiful point. So I must write it. This is the style of writing except blocks. Is it clear? Yeah. See, some students are having some problem. Who is that some problem? Sheikh Mutahar. Please clarify it, sir. When we get, wait 1 minute, Mutahar, I will take your doubt. I will clarify everybody's doubt, ma. Please carefully follow. Actually, by this time, no doubt should be coming. If a doubt is coming, I'll say. Please clarify it, sir. If we get some error, it should display that particular error, not all the error. If it is related to zero division error, it belongs to numerical error and is similar to string. Similarly to string. What is that? If we get some error, it should display that particular error. That only we are doing. That only we are doing. Not all the error. I said go to where? First syntax. Go to where? If it related to zero division error, it belongs to numerical error only. Yes, I said that only. Mudhar, your doubt is this is a suitable. This is your doubt is like this. To you write except zero division error, numerical error, string error, value error. Separately you write it. Suppose if any person is looking all the errors at a time, even if I do one error, go to the division number 3. Write multi exception handling block. Muthar like he is expecting one error, one at a time. Go to syntax 1. A person like me expecting all the errors at a time. What is that? When I am going to Himalayas, I should see what are all the problems I am getting. Now only I want to see. I want to see all the except blocks at a time. I think Muthar it is clear for you. That doubt is clear. Next up, Kurva. So, it first form correct, sir. Can you please explain one more time? First form is it first form. Oops, getting confused, sir. Kurva, where are you getting confused, ma? Where are you getting confused, ma? Shiva, can we get exception name in the default except block? Shiva, by default we are getting exceptions only, na? By default exceptions are coming. Already it was over. How to get a technical error message for a default block? Default block we never get. Why? Because by default what is printing? No exception name we are giving. No exception name we are giving. We are getting what by default? Message I am giving. No exception class. How can you get the message? If at all you want a technical error message, go to which block? Go to which block? Everything answer I have. As alias name is there or not? Yes. So, Sumit Kumar, according to you, which form of except block should be followed for good programming practice? Sumit Kumar Singh, I told you, Nama, either first syntax you follow or you go for multi-catch exception handling block. Multi-exception handling block you go. Right. Srinivas, sir, how to get technical error message for default except block? Srinivas, we cannot get directly. Default except block, what are we not mentioning? What are we not mentioning? Exception class name is not there. When exception class name is not there, how can you record that message? It is matching with everything. I hope you are getting. Right. So depends, ma. Kurva. So your doubt, ma. Your doubt, please. I hope you are understanding me. So it first form correct, sir. Can you explain? Kurva, please come to ma. Kurva. P is pointing sometimes and not printing sometimes. You told some maintenance. See, my dear student, maintenance means what I said you are understanding is completely different. Let us come to your doubt, Kurva. Here, sometimes printing P, sometimes not printing P, that is should be careful enough. Why P is not printing when exception is occurring? Kurva, please understand, ma. I think you did not practice my programming. See, Kurva, for you I am saying, 7th line, 8th line exception is occurring. Kurva, did you feel that it will come to 10th line? Programming knowledge is important here. No, that means sometimes printing, sometimes not printing. Why you are getting that thought, ma? Let us see. Let us see. Actually, it's so clearly I am explaining that. Coming to the point back, say div 5, 10 and KVR I entered. Do you feel where is that exception is coming? Where is that exception is coming? Line number 8 or not? 8 means will it come to 9th line, 10th line like that? What is not printing? Exception will print. Don't enter. Where is the question of P is printing? Kurva, you need to understand. Sometimes printing, sometimes not printing. That is, you need to practice. Right. Here exception is occurring. That line will not come. Understand? Go. Once again run 10 and then 0. 10 and 0. Where is the 10 and 0? Where is the 10 and 0? Line number 9 exception is coming. How it will come to 10 and 11? Is it printing P? No. Programming knowledge is important. So here execute. So this answer is coming. No P will come. I am very much clear here. Come to next div 5 100 and then 20. Now it is executed. Up to where it is executed? Up to the line number, this one is completely executed. That time you are getting, I said 0. That time P is printed. This time P is printed. So I am very much clear. I am very much clear. There is no, of course, I should cancel that. I should cancel that. Now I will execute 100 and 20 you say. Now you see P is printed. Sometimes printed, sometimes not printed. No. Kurva, did you understand now? Yes. Now you got it. So carefulness, everything I explained it. When an exception is occurring, below statements will not execute. Okay. Now, sometimes this is my code I am submitting. I completed my project. It comes for what? Some changes in the project. Somebody else will add this line. Which line they added? Some x is equal to int of KVR. Some new line is added. Is it possible to convert? Is it possible to convert? Kurva. Is it possible to convert? Somebody has added this code. You only added, for example, you added. Kurva is added this code. Is it exception or not? No, who is that value error? Manikanta Swami. Value error. Value error. Value error is coming or not? This is going to come to where? Value error. Now I am going to enter into where? Now I am going to enter into where? 10 comma, 10 comma, 20 comma, 30 comma. What is this? 10 comma, 20 comma, 30 comma, like that. I entered. What is the time? What is the time it is going to become? It is going to become which error? Type error. Invalid arguments, invalid type. Is it matching? Is it matching? Is it matching? What is matching? Default. Default means it is an added advantage. I am helping him so that something is went wrong. Execute. Go to that place. Say that 120. Say that oops, something went wrong. So that maintenance engineer or that person who is changing the code will be little alert. I think. Kurva, you got it, ma? Kurva, did you understand what is my intention here, student? Right. Right. Fine. So got it. Very nice. Okay. Sagar Kulkarni. Yeah. Very good. See how I am clarifying your doubts? Sir, can you show once using exception handling how to validate user input? Like e.g. example, we ask you enter the integer, but entering something different. Yes, ma, definitely I will come to that. Sagar, I'm definitely coming to that. Wait, because it is there as a part of our class. I showed you already in the beginning. Enter the name. I am entering alphabets. Enter the alphabets. I am entering something string. I will explain. Sagar Kulkarni. Definitely I will explain, ma. Wait some more kind of topics to complete. Definitely that time I will call you Sagar. Right? Ajay Kumar, time is over. Okay. Sagar, I will explain definitely that part, ma. Okay. Srinivas, one question. If we don't know what exception and how to handle that, how we can handle? Is it already explained or not? By default, except block is coming. Suppose if I don't know exception at all, whenever you run the program, whenever you enter, by default, what is coming? Srinivas, please look at more. By default, exceptions are coming or not? This itself will make me to write what block? Except block. Srinivas, did you understand? By default, this exception is coming. Srinivas, did you understand? Yes, Vishal. Is it necessary to remember all the exceptions? Compulsory. When you become a famous doctor, is it necessary to remember all medicines? Compulsory. Because you are a god for the patients. You are a god for the software engineering. If you don't remember, what will happen? It goes wrong. Yes. Vishal, Vinay. Did you understand? Necessary to remember or not necessary to remember? Yes. 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 Oh, Pooja, correct. So I'll stop the class. So did you understand today? How many forms of except blocks? Handling single exception, handling multiple specific exceptions, handle all exceptions with the default, handling exception with alias name. These are the 4 forms. Right. Right. So Vishwa, don't worry, Ma, don't worry. Don't worry. No need to tell. No need to tell sorry for me. I will explain. I will explain that. I will tell you random module ma after my functions, after my files are over, database is over, I will explain random module. On one file sorted, I will explain. Your student will go to underground sometimes. That time I will explain simple part. Easiest part is random module. Modules are very easy for you now. Okay. So I'll stop my class. And tomorrow class, I'll go for how to develop programmer defined exceptions. Raise keyword also I will introduce. What is tomorrow topic? How to develop programmer defined exceptions with which keyword? Raise. So don't miss it. Very, very important. Are you understanding? Right. I think you are sleeping. Sleeping, na? How many times? 4 or 5 times? Sleeping, wake up, like that. Because of that, nothing will come. Morning, new batch is started. 511 students joined. 511. One student sat before. I told 5 times, don't sleep. He 6th time also slept and he fall down also on another student. Beginning student. I told him, go out and wash out your face and then come. He went there, he walked here and there and he came to the class. So that much we are not in control by ourselves. Sleep 6 hours is enough. Night sleeping, class sleeping and everywhere else sleeping only. Not good. When you are sitting in the, don't keep mask. When you keep mask, na? Ma? Okay. So don't try to sleep. Okay, maybe you're not feeling well or something. But when you are in the class, we came for class to listen. When you sleep now, our purpose is forgetting. That is what my bother is. Okay, students, let us, tomorrow class, we'll go for it. Sumit Singh, sir, your class, it just feel like a never ending. It just perfect, superb subject, knowledge. Thank you, Sumit Kumar Singh. Thank you, ma'am. Right. All the best. Hyderabad last yesterday. Oh, okay.